WBTW News 13.
News 13 at 11 starts with breaking news tonight. This is the scene of an active Horry County police investigation near Surfside Beach. Details are limited right now, but we're told it involves a barricaded person. Good evening and thanks for tuning in late tonight. I'm Manny Martinez. Let's get right back to that breaking news. News 13's Maya Lockett is at the scene for us and has been for a little more than an hour. Maya, exactly where are you and what are you seeing right now?
Manny, I'm out here on Frontage Road along Highway 17, and as you can see, police have blocked off both sides of Frontage Road, not allowing anyone to get in or out of this area. And as you can see behind me, this is still an active investigation. And like you said, we don't know much details, but we do know this is a barricaded situation. And I'll step out of the camera just so you can see the scene. I definitely see fewer police cars than earlier, just 20 minutes ago. If you take a look at this video, law enforcement flooded the area and were lined up along the highway. And I see their focus is Roadside Inn, which is a motel in the area, but we are still working to find out more information. But like you said, all we know so far is that this is a barricaded situation and an active investigation, as you can see. Manny, back to you.
Maya Lockett near Surfside Beach, thank you. We'll check back in with you in just a bit. New tonight at 11, lawmakers are sounding the alarm over their lack of access to classified material found in the homes of current and former vice presidents and presidents. The leading members of the Senate Intelligence Committee say they'd like to see what was found. It comes as new polling shows how Americans are reacting to the handling of those documents. CBS's Cristian Benavides breaks down those polls and what access to documents would allow lawmakers to do.
CBS News polling on handling of classified documents by current President Joe Biden, former President Donald Trump, and former Vice President Mike Pence shows most Americans believe they should all be investigated over the matter, with Mr. Biden polling ahead of Mr. Trump when it comes to how Americans perceive their cooperation with investigators. The new polling comes as the DOJ says Congress will not be able to see the documents until the special counsels handling the investigations approve it.
Our job is to make sure there's not an intelligence compromise.
Both the leading Democrat and Republican on the Senate Intelligence Committee believe withholding the material is a mistake. Both senators speaking out on Face the Nation.
These are probably materials we already have access to. We just don't know which ones they are.
The two argue the committee has a constitutional duty of oversight, and access to the documents would allow them to address issues such as potential overclassification of material. The panel also controls funding for some intelligence agencies.
So you threatened to withhold some funding to some of the agencies.
I'm not in the threat business right now, but we certainly are. There are things we need to do as a committee every year to authorize the moving around of funds. I think the Director of National Intelligence and other heads of intelligence agencies are aware of that.
As the standoff over access to the documents continues, the race for 2024 is getting underway, with Mr. Trump holding a rally in South Carolina, the first campaign event of the year. Cristian Benavides, CBS News.
As president, it will be my personal mission to put a secure middle-class lifestyle within the reach of every single South Carolina family. We'll do it easily. We're going to beat inflation rapidly. But to beat inflation, we will stop the government spending insanity. $1.7 trillion just approved, and we'll rebuild the greatest economy in the history of the world. And I did it before, and I'll do it again, and it won't even be difficult. It's not even going to be difficult.
And that's part of what former President Donald Trump said last night in Columbia. He was met at the State House by Governor Henry McMaster and Lieutenant Governor Pamela Abbott, as well as Senator Lindsey Graham and 7th District Congressman Russell Fry, all of them named to Trump's South Carolina campaign leadership team. And happening tomorrow, Vice President Kamala Harris will be making a stop in Raleigh. She's making the trip as part of the Biden administration's small business focus. This is a reschedule from a trip that was supposed to happen last week, but was delayed after the mass shootings in California. Tonight, News 13 is your local election headquarters, and happening this week, the runoff election in Atlantic Beach to fill the town council seat that was held by the late James DeWitt, who was allegedly killed by his son last year. Tuesday's runoff was triggered after none of the three candidates received a majority of the vote. Normally in a runoff, you have the leading vote getter getting vote getter against the second leading vote getter. However, in this case, the two runners-up tied with 22 votes each, so all three of them do it again. Atlantic Beach Election Commission Chair Joe Montgomery says only 76 of the 205 registered voters participated in the special election, and voters will choose between John Davis, Lendale Evans, and Michael Isom. Polls will be open from 7 until 7 with voting at the town's community center. We'll have live coverage Tuesday morning, and count on us for those results. Right now at 11, we're working to learn more after a person was shot in Florence. The sheriff's office says it happened yesterday at the intersection of Alligator and Twin Church Roads. The sheriff's office says the person shot is expected to be okay. No other information was immediately available. Count on us for updates. As Memphis prepares to lay Tyree Nichols to rest this week, there are growing calls for police reform around the nation. The Friday night release of police body camera video showing his brutal beating during a traffic stop prompted protests nationwide. This weekend on Saturday, the Memphis mayor announced the city is permanently disbanding the Scorpion crime-fighting unit that the former police officers, belonged to. CBS News' Skylar Henry is in Memphis with the latest.
He asked a question that has yet to be answered. What did I do?
At this Memphis church, Sunday's service in honor of Tyree Nichols was titled, "What Did I Do?" That's one question 29-year-old Nichols could be heard asking as he pleaded with police during the violent traffic stop that led to his death 3 days later.
Police tactics need to change, this is all across the board,
We all have to make sure to hold law enforcement accountable.
Police body camera video of the encounter was released Friday night, sparking nationwide protests into the weekend.
Say his name! Tyree Nichols!
The 5 officers were fired and now face second-degree murder and other charges.
If there are 5 different individuals acting that way, you have to wonder whether there's a problem of culture.
Additionally, several sheriff's deputies and firefighters involved in the incident have been relieved of duty, pending investigations as calls for further disciplinary measures continue.
On Wednesday, the funeral service for Tyree Nichols will be held at this church after he was brutally beaten here in Memphis a little more than 3 weeks ago.
There's a bill that's been sitting in Congress, the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act, that because of partisan politics has not been passed.
In Washington Sunday, the Congressional Black Caucus said it wants to meet with President Biden this week to push for negotiations for reforms to the justice system. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Memphis, Tennessee.
Take a look at this new video tonight of hero Brandon Say being honored in California today. The 26-year-old disarmed the Monterey Park gunman after wrestling away a gun as he was trying to enter the second dance studio. Say was honored with a Medal of Courage at today's Lunar New Year festival. And community leaders gathered in City Heights, California to pay tribute to those who were killed in the Monterey and Half Moon Bay shootings. Combined, the shootings killed 18, 11 in Monterey Park and 7 in Half Moon Bay. Organizers and people from all over San Diego County say they came out to stand in solidarity with the Asian community and to stand united against hate and violence.
We want to support the community. There's so much that divides us that to come together and really talk about unity and peace is really important and powerful.
Organizers are calling on the public and elected leaders to stand up against all forms of hate. New at 11, and right now Horry County Police need your help to find this missing girl they believe is endangered. Madeline Griffin is 12 years old. She was last seen Friday on Carolina Point Way. That's near Little River. She's 5'4" and 150 pounds, and she has green hair. Take a look at her picture in this story right now at WBTW.com. And new at 11, Georgia quarterback and 2-time national champion Stetson Bennett was arrested today in Dallas. Bennett was taken into custody around 6 this morning after police received reports of a man banging on doors. Officers determined he was intoxicated. Bennett's charged with public intoxication. His Bulldogs won the title game 3 weeks ago tomorrow. And the second week of the Murdaugh trial starts tomorrow, and we're gearing up for what's coming up next. The first week revealed new details on what happened on the night Maggie and Paul Murdaugh were killed, but there are still lots of missing pieces to be unveiled in this case. After nearly 10 witnesses took the stand last week, we saw new video of Alec Murdaugh being interrogated on the night of the murders. Plus, prosecutors questioned SLED agent Melinda Worley, who specializes in footwear evidence. First thing tomorrow morning, Murdaugh's attorneys will get a chance to cross-examine SLED agent Worley. And we will, of course, continue to provide you with everything you need to know about this trial. You can find all of our coverage on our website, WBTW.com, and our News 13 mobile app, and you can also watch a live stream of this trial online as well. And take a look at this, an injured great horned owl in good care tonight after someone found it on the road and turned it into a North Myrtle Beach firehouse yesterday. Crews contacted the Carolina Wildlife Rehab Center, which determined both the owl's legs are broken. Poor thing. It's scheduled for surgery. The owl will heal at a rehab facility until it's ready to return to its natural habitat. And our News 13 family is growing. Congratulations are in order for Chris Parks, our sports director, and his wife Brittany are expecting another child. Chris and Brittany had a gender reveal tonight at the Myrtle Beach Skywheel. They'll be having a boy due in June. Congratulations to the both of them from all of us here at News 13. And coming up after the break, illegal border crossings are up more than 700% in certain parts of the U.S. Find out where after the break. You're watching News 13 at 11. Stay with us. We're continuing to follow breaking news tonight. We'll return with a live report from Maya Lockett in 95 seconds.
Now, breaking news from WBTW News 13.
And welcome back to News 13 at 11. We will turn now back to News 13's Maya Lockett. She continues to follow this breaking news for us. And Maya, I understand you have a pretty big development to share with us.
Yes, Manny, just a few minutes ago, a police officer told me that the suspect has started shooting, and I actually heard the gunshots myself 2 different times, probably about 2 minutes apart from each other, but we're still learning to learn more information. We were told we probably should go back to our car, but as you can see, the investigation is still ongoing, and I'm going to step out of the shot. We're out here on Frontage Road along Highway 17. Both sides are blocked off from a little bit of in front of the motel up there, and probably just one more block past where we are currently. And as you can see, again, I said it was a barricaded situation earlier, but we did hear gunshots from the shooting, and now police officers, they're starting to head to where the scene actually is. But like I said, we still are working to find more information about the investigation. It's definitely a few less Horry County police cars than earlier from the video that we showed, but now we're not sure what's really going on. But like I said before, we did hear gunshots just a few minutes before we started the live shot, but we are still working to find out more information for you. Manny, back to you.
I like it. Great work. Thank you. And we will check back in again, and definitely stay safe. And while a lot of attention has been focused on migrants illegally crossing into the U.S. at the southwestern border, it turns out there's been a big increase in the number of people who are entering the country illegally at its northern border. That's according to Border Patrol agents in New York, Vermont, and New Hampshire. The Customs and Border Protection Agency says its agents apprehended more people illegally entering the U.S. from Canada in the past 3 months than in the previous 2 years combined. In fact, the Border Patrol says it saw a 743% increase in apprehensions and encounters in the last 3 months of last year compared to the same time frame the year before. The agency says the people who crossed the border had flown to Canada from at least 19 different countries to make an attempt to get into the United States. And the great American population shift is to the south. The Census Bureau says U.S. population growth in the South outgrew other regions by about 1.3 million people. Southern births also outpaced deaths and migration patterns. 6 of the 10 leading growth states were in the South, led by Texas, Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina. States with significant losses, they were California, Alaska, Hawaii, New Mexico, Oregon, and Washington. And pending home sales ended their 6th month streak of declines in December. The increase comes as mortgage rates pulled back from 2022's peak and is another early positive sign for the housing market. The National Association of Realtors' seasonally adjusted index tracking pending home sales is a measure of contract signings. It gained 2.5% in December from November. We head to break with a live look over the Myrtle Beach boardwalk. You can see our camera's a little wet. Somebody's on a bike. We'll be back with Scotty's full forecast after the break.
And then look at next weekend, Saturday, we're going to be in the 40s with lows in the 30s. It is going to be quite unsettled and getting pretty chilly as we head in towards the end of the week.
It is rain tomorrow, rain Tuesday, a bit of a break midweek.
Yeah.
But then more rain.
Yeah, and it's not going to be like an all-day rain. It's going to come in kind of periods.
I'm not going to lie, I think that's worse.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of gloomy around here this week. That's just kind of the way to put it. So sorry about that, but we do need the rainfall, so we'll take it while we can get it.
We need you to return it and reorder it.
We'll try our best.
All right, thank you, Scotty. Coming up next in sports, the South Carolina women traveled to Tuscaloosa to play Alabama today. Will the Gamecocks extend their perfect record? And highlights from the AFC and NFC championship games. That's all next in Julia Kennedy's Sports.
And that's our sports for 11 tonight. Manny, back to you.
Thank you, Julia. Let's check in before we go back with Maya Lockett. She has been following breaking news tonight out of Horry County for more than 2 hours now. And Maya, just a few minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, you told us you heard gunshots.
Manny, that's right. I've been here for 2 hours and I've heard gunshots twice, and the police officer from Horry County Police Department did confirm that was the subject shooting at the police. We haven't heard anything since, but just to give a recap of the last 2 hours, I've counted over almost 35 Horry County police cars in the area. We're currently on Frontage Road off of Highway 17, which is blocked off starting a little, I'll step out of the scene so you can see, starting back to probably where that, a little over where that motel is. Where the focus actually is where most of those police cars are sitting and watching, and we're still waiting to learn information. But we did learn that the Horry County Police Department has passed it over to SLED, and they said they will not be making any comment for the rest of the night. And Horry County Police Department did tweet out that the subject did shoot at the police, and we are still waiting to hear more information, like I said. And like we said earlier, this was a barricade situation, and like I said, we are still waiting to hear more information. We have limited details. Manny, back to you.
Maya, great reporting tonight. Thank you. And again, want to stress that Horry County Police has said that there is no risk to the community at this time in this barricade situation. Again, Maya, thank you. And thank you for joining us late tonight. Coverage you can count on. We'll be back in just a few hours starting at 4:30. We'll stay on top of this story overnight, and we'll have live reports from News 13's Taylor Maresca in the morning. Have a good night.